Science with pets in a virtual world. Science with pets in a virtual world. I've got to teach science to my pets because coronavirus. Science with pets in a virtual world. Science with pets in a virtual world. Science with pets in a virtual world. I've got to teach science to my pets because corona. Welcome back, my furry scientist. Wasn't that maze activity fun? As I said before, today's lesson is going to be all about circuits. And today's lesson is brought to us by the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills Statement.
5.6b. Force, motion, and energy. The student knows that energy occurs in many forms and can be observed in cycles, patterns, and systems. The student is expected to demonstrate the flow of electricity in closed circuits, can produce light, heat, or sound.
And our objective for today is for you to be able to draw a circuit using conductive ink pens that you can use to light an LED bulb and make a buzzer sound. All right, class, give me a yup yup if you've already demonstrated that current flowing through a closed circuit can produce a sound.
Yep, yep. Yep.
Yup, yup, yep, yep.
All right, class, for our next activity, I want you all to be in the same group. You're going to be working together, collaborating to build a light-up storyboard. A light-up storyboard is like a comic strip where each pane tells a different part of the story, and then we're going to light it up using our circuit-making skills. The story you make up can be about absolutely anything you know about electricity. Yes, Jack?
Anything about electricity?
Anything you know about electricity at all. Yes, Tila?
But I don't know anything about electricity.
I'm sure you know something about electricity, Tila, but don't worry. That's why you're in groups, so you can collaborate and learn from each other. Now, I don't want you to worry about whether your story is correct, right, or wrong. That's not what matters. What matters is that we're going to be exploring what we can do with circuits. Now, your storyboards are going to end up looking something like this, depending on what you do. This is one I drew. And when we hook up the circuit to it, all right, the lights come on. And those are little stars in the starry, starry night. And if we look on the back, you'll see that I've drawn a simple circuit out with the circuit writer pen so that it can power on and we can get the lights to work. Isn't that cool?
Wow, cool, neato.
Cool. Wow.
Now, before we get started, I want to go over some safety reminders. Today we're learning about electricity, and the stuff we're dealing with is really safe. However, you shouldn't go playing or messing around with electricity, all right, without adult supervision. Does everybody understand?
Yes, Professor. Yes, Professor.
Yes, Professor. Yes, Professor.
Do not lick the batteries, Jack.
Ha ha ha, Professor.
And just like every other lab, I want no horseplay, no running around. We are being safe, we are doing science, we're having science fun. Does everybody understand?
Yes.
Good. All right, we're going to go over some of the supplies you're going to need for this lab. First supply you'll need are these pre-made storyboards. It's just a piece of corrugated cardboard. One side has black construction paper on it, and that's for drawing the circuit. On the other side, you'll have just a white piece of paper that can be glued on, and that's where they'll actually draw their storyboard. Next thing you'll need is a power supply. The power supply is very simple. It's just a 9-volt battery. In series with the negative terminal is going to be a 470 ohm resistor, just to keep the current in check and make sure we don't burn out any LEDs. And these are going to be hooked up to alligator clips. Red goes to the positive end of the battery, and black goes to the resistor in series with the negative end. Next things, your students are going to want some crayons so they can draw their storyboard. And then when they get time to do their storyboard and they actually light up the circuit, they're going to take a circuit writer pen. I have two different types here. In order to draw their circuit, they'll need a thumbtack to poke through the board so they can put the LEDs in, and some tape to secure the leads of the LEDs down to the circuit. Now you can get a cheap assortment of LEDs. I got this off Amazon. I think it cost me about $7. And that's all the supplies that the students are going to need. Now, as a teacher, it might be helpful if you have a digital multimeter, just so you can help out and figure out if things aren't working right, but it's not necessary.
Alright class, for the next phase of class we'll be doing an exploration, and you all are going to be in the same group together, okay? Alright students, for the next 5 minutes I want you working in your groups, and all I want you to do is to come up with and decide on a story that you as a group want to tell. Now the story has to have something to do with electricity, doesn't matter what it is, anything you know about electricity. And your story should be able to be told on 4 panels, like a cartoon, alright, that you can explain and later present to the class. Does everybody understand?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I got it. Think so.
Cool. Go ahead and discuss amongst yourself and decide on what story you want to tell.
I don't know. What do you want to tell a story about?
I think the story about Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, the one with the kite.
Can we make Benjamin Franklin a squirrel? I like squirrels. Sounds like a good idea to me.
So Harper, what story did you decide to tell?
We're going to tell the story about Benjamin Franklin discovering electricity.
That's interesting. Where did you learn that story?
We learned it in history class.
Except in our story, Benjamin Franklin is a squirrel.
That sounds like a cool story, Jack. Alright class, settle down. Now that you've decided on the story you're going to tell, for the next 2 minutes I want you to decide on who in your group is going to draw what panel. Each person should draw their own panel. Alright, but if you feel like you're not artistic or not, don't worry about it. It's okay for one person to draw and one person to color. What matters is that everybody's working, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Just be creative and have fun, okay? Decide right now for the next 2 minutes who is going to do what panel in your storyboard. Go.
Okay, I can do the first panel when he sees a rainstorm. I can show him having an idea.
I can draw him running with a kite. And I can show him getting struck by lightning.
Alright class, has everybody figured out who's going to do what when it comes to story panel?
Yes.
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 Good to go. Now, for the next 10 minutes, I want you to just work on each drawing your panels and coloring them in. Now, when you draw the panels, you want to think about where you want to put those LED lights. Now, you can use up to 2 LED lights, and we have them right here. Go ahead and start making your drawings, and once you get done, all right, try to help out your fellow group mates. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be walking around the room.
No place to hang out, I'm watching, and then I can't blame
class, now that your storyboards are drawn, and they do look really, really good. I'm looking forward to hearing your stories. The next thing we're going to do is attach the LEDs and draw the circuits on the back. Now, to attach the LEDs, you're going to have to poke 2 holes into your board, and you'll use a thumbtack very carefully to poke 2 holes through your board, and then you can insert your LED through them so they stick out the end. All right. Now you may notice that one leg of the LED is longer than the other one. There is a long and a short one for a reason, but I'm going to leave it up to you to try to figure out why that is. Now, once you get these LEDs through the board, you're going to draw your circuit, and then you're going to press down as hard as you can on top of the circuit with the legs and use tape to secure it. You're going to need to draw your circuit out to the edge of the board so we can attach the power supply and make it work. All right. Now, once you've got your circuit complete and you want to hook up the circuit, raise your hand and I'll come by and we'll see if we can get it to work, okay? Any questions?
I think we're good. Let's light these babies up. Yeah.
All right, class, great job. Settle down. A few questions for you. What ways of placing your LEDs worked and which ones didn't? Why do you think that is?
Mine only worked when the long end went to the red cable and not the other way around. I think it's because the LEDs only allow electricity to pass one direction through them.
That's some good reasoning, Tila.
Why do you think it was important to make thick lines with your circuit writing?
When our lines weren't thick enough, there wasn't enough circuit for the electricity to go through.
That's a good observation, Rogue. All right, students, now is the time to present your storyboard. Do I have any volunteers?
I volunteer. I'll tell the story.
Okay, Tila, you can tell the story.
One day, Benjamin Squirrel was out for a walk and he noticed a storm was coming with lots of lightning. He had been thinking a lot about lightning and electricity, and he got an idea of what to do about some science. So Benjamin Squirrel went home and ran and got his kite and a key and ran back to the thunderstorm to do science. He flew his kite and it got struck by lightning. The lightning traveled down the kite string and made the key glow. It also shocked Benjamin Squirrel, causing his glasses to fly off.
Great job, everybody. Now I want to go over some key takeaways and some important vocabulary that I'm going to need you to know. So go ahead and take out your journals and write down the following vocabulary words.
Closed circuit. A closed circuit is a circuit that allows electricity to pass through it and has no openings. Open circuit. An open circuit is incomplete and does not allow electricity to pass through it. Current is the term we use for the flow of electricity through a circuit. A diode is a special device that acts like an open circuit in one direction and a closed circuit in the other.
All right, scientists, really great job today. I'm very, very proud of you. I think you put in tremendous effort into this activity. Now let's think about some ways we can elaborate on what we've already learned. Based on what we learned with the circuit maze and the light-up storyboard, how do you think a light switch in your home works?
I think when the light switch is on, the circuit is closed, and when it's off, the circuit is open.
That's a great idea, Jack. I like your reasoning there. What happens to batteries when we leave them in a device and leave that device turned on for too long?
It goes dead.
That's right, it goes dead. Why do you think it is?
Because when you leave it on, the circuit's always closed, so it's draining the battery.
Excellent reasoning there. All right, class, we've seen electricity flowing through a circuit that can produce a sound and it can make a light. What else do you think it might be able to make?
I think electricity can make heating and air conditioning work.
All right, class. My last question for you is something I want you to think about when you go home tonight, and I want you to come back tomorrow with your ideas. The question is this: if you can invent anything you wanted to using electricity and circuits, what would you invent? Well, I want to thank each and every one of you scientists for putting in great effort today to learn about science and circuits. I hope you had as much fun and learned as much as I did. That's all we have for today. This is Professor Nick signing off. Stay nerdy, my friends.
Starry, starry night. Ain't your palette blue and gray? Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and the daffodils, catch the breeze and the winter chills in colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night. Flaming flowers that brightly blaze,